So many injuries. We're talking about the injuries for Bournemouth, but another club that have been very unlucky with injuries recently. Maguire out with a hip injury, Pogba and McTominay out for 6 weeks. We can have a look actually now at the current injuries. Now, all of these players, 8 players, are reportedly sidelined or at least a doubt for the next game, which is against Norwich, of course. Which players do you think they will miss the most, Charlie, from this list?
Maguire, McTominay and Pogba. You know, on that list, they're the 3 main ones that would be playing every week if they were fit. Listen, we all talk about Pogba. He's still a wonderful talent. He's an extremely talented player. You know, on his day, he's as good as anybody in Europe. It's just, is his head right? Is he focused? Is he mentally wanting to be a Manchester United player? I'm not so sure. When you've got an agent like Mino Raiola who brands him around every window, there's always an issue with him. It's very, very difficult. And I think Paul Pogba needs to just, you know, get fit and do his talking on the pitch. So
with that said, you said he's a world-class player, he's a great player, but you're unsure if his head's in the right place. So it's the argument that a lot of people have with Paul Pogba. So what would you do if you're at Man United with Paul Pogba? Would you want him to stay? Would you keep him at all costs? Or would you look to move him on?
No, I would like to move. I would move him on if I was Manchester United. I would move him on and I'd get some, you know, for the value of him, you would get good money back for him. And I'd probably look to try and bring in 2 players for what you're getting from Pogba. Listen, he's a top player. But the off-field and how he goes about it, it's difficult to see and watch. You know, at times in the Premier League he's unplayable, but at times, you know, you see him and he's flicking and he's, you know, doing everything that you don't expect to be from a top player. And off the field, you know, the Instagrams and all that. It's great to see for supporters, but you know, you're there.
I think like with Paul Pogba, I think he's a great talent. There's no doubt Manchester United miss him. When he's on form, he's the best, probably one of the best players in the league as well, along with De Bruyne and Mane, if he's on form. He does have that stigma about him, definitely. But for me, it's up to Ole to get him going.
But you don't see De Bruyne doing it. You don't see Mane, the top players. You don't see them, you know, doing that. You know, it's,
at the end of the day,
I know it's his character.
It's his
and I
character.
understand that, but
he's from a different culture. He loves dancing. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. I think you just got to kind of get him serious about the game get him serious for Manchester United. Sit him down, have a chat with him. Say, listen, this is the direction we're going. I want you on board. As a manager, you do that, and they say, listen, I want you to lead my team, and I want you to lead my team in the right manner. And I think Pogba, if he's been told and if you sit down with him and have a heart-to-heart with him, he'll come trumps for you.
So you'd want him to stay?
Yeah.
You think he's best?
I want the best players. I want the best players in the Premier League. I don't want anyone to go. Do you know what I mean? And he's one of those exciting players that everybody wants to see do well.
Is this a big period for Man United, the next few games? We've got Norwich, we've got Liverpool coming up as well. Do you look at this, given recent results? Of course, they lost to Man City. Only the first leg in the semi-final of the Cup, drew to Wolves in the FA Cup, lost to Arsenal. Do you look at this as a defining moment of their season, the next run of fixtures coming up?
Yeah, listen, the 5 points off 4th place in the Champions League, it's not that much. But they're not playing as well as they're capable of. There's a lot of pressure on Rashford to bring something out of something special. I think somebody like James has done extremely well, coming from Swansea, and you know, the first part of the season he's done really well. Martial, I want more from. You know, I expect more.
Is he underperforming for you, Martial?
You know, if he'll go on a spell where 2 or 3 games he'll do great, and he'll go missing for 4 or 5, or he'll pick up a small injury, and then, you know, obviously Jesse's having a tough time as well, and everybody's on the bandwagon of him having a go at him. It's tough for the players. You know, we don't know what's going off the field as well, and that's a big thing. And it's a big rebuilding job at Man United, and it's, you know, like I say, it's very, very difficult in this window to get the top players. Yeah, you say big rebuilding job. The players they actually bought in the summer, don't forget they spent more money than any other Premier League club, but Daniel James done well, Harry Maguire, a lot of the fans are very happy with, Wan-Bissaka, so they have spent well on good players. Do you expect them, and do you think they do need to strengthen in January? You spoke earlier about it being difficult to attract the necessary players in January, but do you look at their squad and think they need to continue spending?
I just think the manager needs to sort it out because they have the players. They've got good players.
The squad is good enough for you, Carlton?
Well, yeah, I think the squad is good enough, but they do. Once they get those injuries off the list and they're back playing, that squad is good enough to be in the top 4. You know, I think so.
I don't think it's good enough for Man United. I don't think, you know. The young lad Will's coming at left back, done really well. You know, Maguire, Lindelof is one where I seen a stat the other day that he's won more 1v1 duels in the Premier League than anybody. Wan-Bissaka has done really well. McTominay's coming in and done well. Fred is starting to come onto a game a little bit, but I still think they need 3 or 4 players to get back to the level.
And can they still attract?
Absolutely,
Those big players?
absolutely.
They're still Man United. They're still a huge club.
They're still the biggest.
If they
club
want
in
a
the
player, it's as simple as going out and getting them.
Yeah, and no matter what, they're still the biggest club in the world, and Man United can attract the best players. The biggest problem they have is if the big players want to come there because they see the vision that they can get back into the Champions League and that. But if I'm one of the big ones, I'm saying, okay, Man United want me, get me to Man United and I'll get you back in the Champions League and I'll show you that the money you spent was well worth it. But you know, there's 2 clubs above them, Man City and Liverpool at the moment.
When I look at it now, I think if you look at Jose's stats to Ole's stats, Jose didn't do that bad now. Do you know what I mean? I thought he'd done okay. He was building. He did spend a lot of money, but he was building something. And he did lose a bit of respect from the fans and all that sort of stuff. But when you look at where they are now to when, yes, it's 2 different teams at the moment, and they need to get back to that. So because that was where they was going to propel to get to the next level.
Yeah.
I think they've gone backwards. So they need to actually get back to that level where Jose got them to go on again. Because I think, what did they finish? 2nd? When Jose
Mourinho, they did finish 2nd under Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
He actually, after that season, said that was one of his biggest achievements in his managerial career, which I think a lot of people took with a pinch of salt. But looking back on that,
it was a massive thing.
You'd agree with him looking back on that.
Because he could have got them to go to the next level, but maybe he just didn't feel that he had the right support around him, and it's telling now.